So, hello everybody. Tonight I'm doing an experiment, and if you can hear this and see this, then it means that my experiment has worked. And if not, then I'll be talking to myself essentially for the next 1.5 hours, or maybe 2 hours, depending on how long I'm going to go tonight, because I have decided to, well, I didn't really decide to do anything. I came across a game which is quite old, I believe, several years, probably 6, 7, 8 years. I don't really know. And it's called Skyrim. Now, this is not a new game, and loads of people know it, and I had known about it as well. But I'd never played because I haven't played computer games in a very, very long time. But I saw a lovely playthrough. Well, I mean, as far as you can play through Skyrim. And I kind of fell in love with it, and I thought, well, this actually looks like a game that I might enjoy, and I could give it a try. So I went on Steam, and Steam had the Skyrim Special Edition for 40 euros, which is about, I don't know, $60 maybe, which is nothing. That's really, 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 really competitively priced, considering that you get the special edition, which is the remastered version with upgraded graphics. And also, in addition to that, you get a beautiful expansion pack. So all of the 3 expansions are in there. And I checked the specifications, and it told me that I could play it on my computer. So I was like, okay, well, what could possibly go wrong? Nothing went wrong. I really enjoyed it, but I also realized I wanted to get a gaming laptop to play it because I only have a tower, and there I could only play it with a controller, and that was a terrible experience when you're trying to aim in the archery section of the game. So those of you who've played it may probably feel my pain. And so I came across different video channels of people who play Skyrim, and amongst those is Shirley Curry, who's also known as the Skyrim Grandma. And she also did a playthrough, or a kind of like an intro to a game called Dead Secret. Now, I watched this, and I think she plays for about 30 minutes or 40 minutes, and I was like, this is interesting, because there were very many things in there which spoke to me directly, because I have had an interest in Japan for a very long time. I went to Japan twice. I stayed there for, I think, a combined length of 4.5 weeks. I also collect Japanese books, which is a bit difficult because a lot of them are not translated into English or German. For example, The Shark of Shinjuku is a series of crime novels, really well written, but only 2 are available in either English or German, which is quite sad. I also collect Chinese literature, and there the situation is even worse. But I really liked the game because of its interesting details to do with Japan, and one of them was very, very, very unexpected, and I'm going to talk to you about it when we get to it in the game. The game is called Dead Secret. It's kind of apparently it's quite creepy, although the part that I saw wasn't really. So we'll see how this goes. I kind of am a scaredy cat, but that's okay, because it is kind of like Halloweeny at the moment. So let's just give it a go. And let's just see what we can do. So here we are. Whoops, we'll have to, okay, so how do you walk? So that's not walking, that's, okay. Let's see, options. Invert Y-axis on. Controller sensitivity. Slow, yeah, back. So let's see how we walk. Let's just take a look around. Here we see crows, we see for sale Holmes Realtor. Oh, it looks like I broke my left arm. Let's turn around. There's a house, trees. The graphics are nothing to write home about, but I think they are not really that important. That must be my car, so it's good to know if I need to go somewhere, then I can always get my car. Endings. Why does it give me the possibility of checking out endings? Let's check. Oh God. Okay, we're not gonna do anything here. So, and how do I get out of this? Not at all. This is weird. Ending S, A, B, C, and D. Can I just choose it by typing A? Okay, now, have I found a flaw already? Can I get out of this? Okay, I'm stuck. That's not good. Huh. That's disappointing. So, I guess I will have to kill it. So whatever I did just there, don't do it because it'll actually ruin the game because you won't be able to get back. Okay, let's try this again. September 25th.
Was found dead in his study 5 days ago. Nobody believes me, but I think he was murdered. This house in the middle of nowhere holds the secret. There's a story hiding here, and I'm going to cover it. If I'm right, there are 4 major suspects. Graham Wellington, Josie Herrera, Cynthia Peckman, Bobby Sawyer. I'm not leaving until I find out what happened.
Okay. Oh, this is me. So I have no idea how I walk. That's strange. But I have different ways of actually moving forward. Let's see. Okay, tab gives me this, but I can't walk. Let's see. W, maybe if I click shift, no. Turn, I can click shift and turn and do all kinds of things. And if I use the arrow keys, I also only turn. Ah, I get it. Okay, so this is me. All right, well, glasses, that's correct. Let's just, all right, in and out, easy. Just have to find some evidence and get out of here. Okay, well, never say it's something's easy because, that's not going to happen then. Reclusive professor found dead in home. Gove. Bullard, a retired college teacher, was found dead in his home on Monday. The body was discovered by Bobby Sawyer, who worked part-time for Bullard running odd jobs. A police investigation has concluded that Bullard died of natural causes. He was 63. Okay, September 23rd, 1965. So he was born in 1902. Yeah. Bullard moved into his home on Rampo Way several years ago, but was rarely seen about town. He was a private and reclusive man who seemed to have few friends. Bullard raised eyebrows last year when a former student, a pretty young woman named Josie Herrera, moved in with him. Okay. Bullard's will, written in 1957, leaves his entire estate to his ex-wife Cynthia Peckman. Peckman will reportedly sell the house and its contents immediately. Well, we saw the realtor sign outside. Harris was a genius in his discipline, said Graham Wellington, a former colleague. The field of neuroscience is considerably poorer without him. Okay, so he's a neuroscientist. Okay. Oh, and I take notes. That's lovely. Okay. We've got a parcel. A small parcel tied tightly with twine. can't open it with my bare hands. Yeah, with my bare hand rather, because, yeah, well, I broke my arm. Anything in the drawer? Yep. This drawer is missing its knob. I can't open it. Oh God. House is already falling apart. Anything over here? Oh, a key. Let's have that. It's a small key. Mm-hmm. Okay. Empty. Piano. Yep. I can't lift the stuff with one arm, even using the hand truck. Well, why are we doing this when we know that we actually are injured? Mm-hmm. This is it, the crime scene. Mm-hmm. Okay. This is interesting. And they are all identical. The Japanese writing on these is all identical. Oh, yeah, it's a good thing we have a key. Aha. This is where Bobby Sawyer found Bullard's body. He'd been dead for a couple of days, though. Oh my God. Aha. There is something stuck under this cushion. There's a page from a manuscript here. Well, let's see it. The man who could see with his skin. In 1926, I met a man who could see with his skin. His eyes were sealed with wax and bandaged. Yet he remained aware of the room around him. He held up signs which he read, and fingers which he counted even when we stood behind him. After the performance, I gave him $200 for the secret. He explained that he could see as long as some part of his skin remained exposed to the air. He described it as a shift in the wind or a slight breeze on his face, the subtle motion of the hair on his arm. After years of focus and practice, he had developed the ability to form a mental image of his surroundings based only on these slight sensations. This man had achieved a form of ideofocus. Granted, he only had access to a very narrow range of sensory information, but the result was very powerful. I immediately resolved to discover the secret of his ability. Now, almost 4 decades later, I am very close. All right. Aha. There's a newspaper clipping here. It reads, Eyeless Joe found dead in hotel. Weird. Okay. And probably nothing over here. Nope. Uh-huh. Something about this painting makes me uncomfortable. It's very bleak. Uh-huh. Ah. Mm-hmm. Now that is definitely Japanese art. Now, let's see. Yeah. She looks lonely. Ah, yes. It's a record player. There's no record inside. That doesn't mean that there isn't a record somewhere in here. Let's take a look. Books. Some of these volumes look ancient. It's all covered in dust. Nothing inside. Maybe here. Aha! What's this? It looks like a tiny camera lens. Okay. Circular lens. Okay, so I guess we get the same thing. Yep, and up here as well. Can't be sure. Yeah, okay. Good. So, one of Bullard's diplomas. A TV set. Doesn't turn on, guess it's broken. Quantum mechanics and functional analysis, not exactly light reading. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Another diploma. Okay. Mm-hmm. So, Japanese masks. Yes. Mm-hmm. So this would be an Oni here. These, it's a demonic mask. It's an Oni. Let's see what we have here. We walk over. Old typewriter. North. Yeah. This is interesting because my 2 visits I spent mostly in Hokkaido, and that's of course the kanji that denotes part of the name. No dial tone. Well, probably broken as well. Ha, more paper. Harris Bullard, I'm woodcutter. Your past has caught up with you. It is over. Okay, he was being blackmailed. Who's this? What's this? Who's woodcutter? Good question. Huh? Ah, scissors. A pair of scissors. I can use these to open the package in the other room. Yeah. Me genius. Okay, let's check this one out. It's a globe. Let's see if we can turn it to Japan. Europe. Yeah, not really. I mean, you can see it down here, but, you know, not very well. Issues of the Journal of Physiology and a bunch of medical books with names I can't pronounce. Okay. So it's made of paper. It's a clay statue with a weird face. Panama Pacific Universal Exposition. X marks the spot on the map here, but okay, so that's okay, now let's see, we can figure this out. This is North America. This is Latin America. Europe's over here. So we're looking at, and we've got Japan over here, so that would be Russia. That would be somewhere in Russia. We've got India up there. Yeah. Okay. More. It's probably just a lamp. My mum has got one of those. We found it in the attic when she bought the house. Joe, something is after me. It's creeping around the house, trying to get in. I'm sure of it. I heard footsteps outside and creaking on the roof. Who's Joe? It's not safe here. I've taken the ideofocal lenses from their normal location and hidden them in my study. Well, we found one. I've sent you a package that you'll know what to do with. Check the map for the mask. As usual, X marks the spot. P.S. The sequence is west, east, north. Okay. Bullard hid something in this room. Very suspicious. This will be a great book for my opening hook for my opening paragraph. And here we've got an old typewriter. But the paper is so far into the feeder that I can't pull it out. Well, you don't pull it out. You do this differently. Yeah, that's how you do it. Got it. Well, writing about Ouija boards in 1852, William Benjamin Carpenter was the first to describe the phenomenon known as the ideomotor effect. The ideomotor effect occurs when the subconscious mind takes control of the body without the conscious mind realizing it. Ideomotor action is distinct from other forms of involuntary action because responses are driven by existing knowledge and perception. The Ouija board, Carpenter suggested, is a clear manifestation. The participants unwittingly move the planchette because their subconscious mind is guiding them. Another example of this phenomenon is dowsing, the practice of using a divining rod to locate water or other materials buried underground. The dowser holds the instrument in both hands and allows it to lead him forward until it points down at the ground, seemingly by itself. For centuries, dowsing was believed to be a form of magic or witchcraft, but we now know that it can be explained by the ideomotor effect. The dowser's subconscious mind is highly sensitive and is able to recognize cues in the environment of which his conscious mind is not aware. When these cues hint at the location of water, the subconscious mind takes control of the dowser's hands and causes him to rotate the rod to the ground. Since the conscious mind is not involved in this operation, the instrument seems to move on its own, pulled as if by some magical force. In reality, it is the dowser himself who is divining. His subconscious mind is responsible both for the detection of buried materials and for the motion of the rod. My research seeks direct access to the knowledge stored in the subconscious mind, complete, unfiltered linkage between the sensitive unconscious and the logical conscious. I call this state ideofocus. Well, he was a neuroscientist. Okay. That's another lens. It's another lens. Now I found two of them. We don't know how many there are, but he didn't hide them really well. He just put them in places. I mean, this is not hiding stuff. This is, whatever. Okay. More paper. Now, this is something that I find really interesting, and this is what I wanted to draw your attention to. I don't know if you can read it. This says Lefcadio Hearn. Now, Lefcadio Hearn is a real person. And he's got a really interesting connection to my adopted home of Ireland because he was Greek-Irish. Lefcadio is, of course, a Greek name, and Hearn is his last name. And he had a very interesting life. He spent a long time in Japan. I believe he was even married to a Japanese woman. He was a journalist. He wrote interesting books, quite like travelogues about Japan, but also about America. And I first heard about him, I want to say, in 2014, in January, because it was some kind of anniversary for him, and there was a program on the Irish radio, National Radio RTE, about him, and I got really interested in him, so I bought some of his books, and I've got them upstairs. And what I like about this game is whoever made it actually did their homework. They're putting stuff in there in this game that it doesn't just look Japanese like the masks we saw, or he puts in a couple of kanji, but even fine details like Lefcadio Hearn, who has been forgotten since his death. He's not a famous person anymore, although in his time he was actually quite well known. I just like it when people you know, put in such nice details because it gives you the feeling that you're inhabiting a real world and this isn't all makey-uppy stuff in the game. Yeah. Oh, by the same author, Lefkadio Hearn. It looks like one of them is missing. Okay, let's see. The Snow Woman. Ah, here we are. Adapted from an original translation by Lefkadio Hearn. An old man and his son climbed a mountain to collect firewood. It began to snow heavily, and, unable to make it back home, they decided to pass the night in a small hut. In the middle of the night, the young man awoke to see that the door had blown open. A tall woman with long hair and a white kimono was leaning over his father, blowing her breath upon him. When she saw that the son was awake, she said, "You are a handsome young man, so I will let you live. But if you ever speak of this to anyone, your life shall be forfeit." In the morning the young man found his father frozen and dead. He climbed down the mountain alone and never spoke of the episode. A year later, he met and married a young, beautiful girl. They had children together and were happy. But the night of his father's death still weighed heavily on his mind. One night, after having a bit too much to drink, the man told his wife about his encounter with the Snow Woman. She was furious. "You promised not to tell," she screamed, and before his eyes she became the tall woman with long black hair and a white kimono. "If it were not for our children," I would, this is terrible. "I would end your life here and now. I will spare you for their sake, but if anything ever happens to them, you shall pay the price." And with that, she was melted into the wind and was gone. This is actually a trope that is quite common in Japanese horror stories. It's quite often a woman who turns into a fox. Fox spirits are quite important. Usually stuff happens at night, and this trope that she's very tall, because Japanese people are usually a lot less tall than Europeans, is also one of the tropes. So women you encounter at night who are very tall, have long hair, in Japan, especially in winter time, usually you're facing some kind of evil spirit. And they're usually always evil. I've yet to read a Japanese story where one of them is not evil. Okay. Oh, and there's no keyhole. Okay, so let's go out again. But I want to check the window. Can they be opened? Yeah. No. It's only September, but today is cold and dark. Fall is here, I guess. Yep. Let's leave. Okay, so since we've got scissors, we might just as well open the... Oh, that was nice. Did you see the movement? That was actually quite good. It's addressed to J. Herrera and was sent from downtown Gove. The parcel is tied tight. I need something to cut the twine if I want to peek inside. Okay, so how do I do this? Eyes inventory, that doesn't work. Scissors. Press B or right mouse for inventory. Yeah, well, you know, now I know. Here we are. A book by Lafcadio Hearn. Kwaidan. It's an old book. It says Kwaidan on the cover, whatever that means. The author is also Lafcadio Hearn. Okay, darling, are you going to read it? Yes. Well, okay. Okay, B for inventory doesn't work. Aha. Old book. I would like to read it, not just, you know, have it rotate. Okay, you can't read it. Quit to main menu. Objectives. Collected documents. Okay. Maybe what we need to do is maybe we need to put it into the shelf between the other books. I would have wanted to read it. Oh, oh my! Somebody turned on the television. Now that's creepy, all right. Okay. That's weird. I could have sworn the TV was off before. Yes, it was, because I tried it and it didn't work. Okay, that's creepy. Okay, let's see. Can we press B or right mouse for inventory? So, okay, if we place it here, I can't push the book all the way back. Feels like it's hitting something. Wait, there's something jammed way back there. It's a flat triangular wedge. There's some sort of foreign writing on it. Let me guess, it's probably Japanese. Get it out. Wooden wedge. Well, okay, let's try this again. Well, it's a kanji. And I can't read it. Okay, so yeah, I guess let's go. Yeah, I was in the study. Hmm. X marks the spot. Maybe we should go to the place that is indicated here, which is here. Aha! It's a small box. It's got a better look. Let's get a better look at it on the desk. Well, what we have to do is we have to... Yeah. None of these is north, by the way, in case you were wondering. So, B. Hang on, this one could be north. Hmm. Hmm. West, east, north is the sequence. West, east, north. Okay. Mm-hmm. There was a place where they had dictionaries, didn't they? Mm-hmm. I would like a Japanese dictionary, please. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Can't use any of these though. Well, maybe there's something in there still. So let's see. No, can't do anything. Uh-huh. Okay. Let's go and check out that TV one more time. Doesn't turn on. Guess it's broken. No, it isn't, because it turned itself on earlier. Okay. Okay. Let's check out this guy a little more. Why is a surprised little guy? Yeah, I'm wondering that too. Yeah. There is rising damp in this house. Yeah, I have investigated the study. Would be nice if I could do something else. Can I play the piano? What was the combination again? West, east, north. Okay. So. West, east, north. Here we are. Now that looks like a monkey. Okay, yeah. Now. Oh my God, there's someone sitting there. Who was that? Yes, that's a really good question. What on earth? And he was wearing that mask, that Oni mask. He had horns. Oh. Josie, if you're reading this note, then something must have happened to me. Well, yeah, I may be dead or missing. If so, you're the only person who can save our research. The truth is that I'm being threatened. It started before I left the college. I get notes every few months from somebody calling himself Woodcutter. What he wants is access to our research. He wants me to turn over our plans for the lunar dream apparatus. All right. Josie, my life is in danger. Well, yeah, clearly you're dead. Woodcutter knows things, secret things about my past that nobody should know. I'll not yield to simple blackmail. But lately, the threats have escalated. I'm sure that I am being watched at the house. I sometimes hear things on the other side of the wall. Yesterday, with the mask on, I thought I saw somebody reaching for me. It's a warning from my subconscious. I am no longer safe here. I've locked our research away in the safe upstairs. I want you to retrieve it and leave. Destroy everything before you go. Burn the house down if you have to. Just get the research and get out of here. Head for a big city where it's easy to hide. Okay. Anything else? Is Joe... I'm counting on you, Joe. Oh yeah, Joe and Josie are the same person. Don't let our work fall into their hands. Okay. Okay. Well, I mean, yeah, I knew that already. Uh-huh. Hmm. In that safe. Ah. Okay. This is how this game works. It's a little bit like scratches. My hunch was right. Bullard's death is definitely fishy. Better stop and review my notes. Okay. Harris Bullard's body was found by... Oh, it's a quiz. Bobby Sawyer. That's it. Bobby ran odd jobs for Bullard. Could he have done it? He certainly had the opportunity. Bullard was scared. He worried about losing his secret research. Okay, now that's odd. That's it. Blackmail. I knew this would be a scoop. Somebody wanted Bullard's research. He must have been killed for it. Well, probably. By Woodcutter. What is that supposed to mean? This is the kind of juicy detail I came here to find. Okay, to tell this story, I need some real evidence. Let's go check out that safe upstairs. Aha. Let's see if this is upstairs. It is upstairs. Okay. Well, like in a dungeon, you always go left. Okay. His bedroom. Spartan. What do we have here? Well, you tell me. Dear Diary, today is an anniversary. It was 5 years ago today that I found Dad's name on an old research paper at the U of C, University of Cleveland, Chicago, California, Colorado. He had written it in 1933, 8 years before I was born. Okay, so he was born in 1941. So this is not Bullard who's writing, because he was 65 when he died, and it's now he was 63 and it's now 1965, so this is not him. I didn't know he had gone to college. I'd never really thought about his life. He was just a name on my birth certificate. Dad ran out on Mama after the war. He had gone off to fight and just never came back. When he stopped writing, Mama thought, when he stopped writing, Mama thought he'd been killed. I remember her crying at the kitchen table. The war ended. Life went on. Mama died without ever finding out what happened to him. I used to hate him. Hated the idea of him. Hated my mother a little bit too. I figured Dad was just a deadbeat who ditched Mama because he didn't want a kid. But when I found his name in the library, something changed. I couldn't stop thinking about him. Deadbeat dads don't study physics, do they? What is he doing now? What does he look like? Is he married to somebody else? I traced him here to Kansas, but finding him is taking longer than I had expected. Okay, so Josie is the writer of this. And I wonder how we know that this is Josie. Okay. Oh, because she's the girlfriend. Yeah. That's look. The dampness on the walls. This is a terrible place. Oh.
It might say reporter on my desk, but I spend most of my time at the Standard making coffee for my editor. I'm tired of writing the gossip column. This story is my shot at the big leagues. When I prove that Bullard was murdered, all the big papers will come calling. I'll finally escape this backwater town. This is it. The chance I've been waiting for.
Uh-huh. And I get this when I look at someone's handprint. Yeah. There's a small dial. I don't seem to be able to interact with it though, so okay, we'll do this later. Yeah. Is painted shut? What does that mean? Painted shut. Nailed, I know. Painted shut? Okay, whatever. Hero says helicopter may win. Sorry. 2 years on the job and all they let me write is a gossip column. Okay. Yeah, I wanted to read that. Well, coat hangers. Box. Now, if I was a cat, this would be brilliant. Aha. Oh, there's plenty of mirrors in here. Oh. Uh-huh. There is this guy again with the mask. And he seems to be opening the chest. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so that didn't do us any good. Mm-hmm. Fireplace. Nice. It's a plate with a circular dial. Mm-hmm. Let's see if we can see our friend. There's the safe. There's stuff there, something lying under it. Okay. He's like a spider. He can climb walls. Okay. There are pieces of a torn-up photo here. Well, darling, let's put them together then. Okay, so grab this one. Oh God, this is terrible. Okay, let's take this one. This one. And lastly, this one. It's an old photo of two men on a ship. You don't say. Okay. James Lowry and Harris Bullard, USS Essex in 1934. I'm getting close to the truth now. I'm going to blow this story wide open. Really? You know nothing, Jon Snow. Okay. Harris Bullard, I'm woodcutter. I know your secret. James Lowry sends his regards. Went south, so he killed Bullard. Well, yeah. It's always an option. It's not recommended, though. Here's the safe, but it's locked, really. Find the safe combination, yes. It's easy as really difficult pie. Bullard's bed, everything is boxed up and ready to move out. Yep. There's a piece of paper, which they forgot. H. Bullard, Daily Log, November 2nd, 1964. We did a test run of the ideofocal lenses today. At first, we did not know how to interpret the results, but now I believe they are working better than we had anticipated. Instead of an unfiltered stream of sensory information, what we are seeing is subconscious memory. The lenses distort in response to visual stimuli that the wearer has some knowledge of. They see what my conscious mind cannot. Josie proposed that what we are really doing is mining dreams. Dreams are, after all, a form of ideofocus, a time when the subconscious comes forward and shows us truths that we might not otherwise recognize. What we are striving for is unrestricted access to dream thought. As a control mnemonic, the mask works pretty well. I could tell that Josie was dubious at first, but now she understands subconscious thought is potentially dangerous to the subject. We will need a physical object to enable the mind to compartmentalize, providing the wearer with some degree of cognitive protection. A permanent augmentation will require a much larger apparatus. We will need some other kind of focus mnemonic to help the brain control the deluge of dream information it will receive. Something large and ubiquitous. The moon, perhaps. They were talking about a lunar something or other earlier. The lenses in this weird mask. Dream thought. The moon. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay, let's see. Um, I will actually quit now and see if I recorded anything, and then you may or may not get this video, and you may or may not have reached the end. I will continue playing, but if the recording didn't work, then you won't even know about it.